Finfinay News Network, FNN News. I'm your host, Sibel. First up in news on Oromia. The Oromia regional state has imposed a curfew under a new emergency proclamation that went into effect on November 13th. Under that order, residents must stay home and businesses must stay closed between the hours of 8 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. That is according to Adugna Ahmed, who is the head of the Oromia Attorney General Office. Only ambulances and private vehicles that have obtained special permits will be permitted on the streets during those hours after curfew. The head of the Oromia Communication Bureau in Hailu Adunga also announced via local radio that the order was due to the security situation in the area and that security forces would be deployed to monitor nearby areas. And he also said that searches of property will be carried out as necessary. According to the Addis Standard, the regional command has also asked citizens to alert the authorities if they see any, quote, strange faces in the area, and for landlords to report the identities of their tenants. And all weapons also must be registered within 10 days after the emergency order took effect. And the issuance and renewal of IDs throughout Oromia will also be temporarily halted. In other news on the capital, alarm is growing over a wave of mass arbitrary arrests. According to the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, an estimate of around at least 1,000 individuals are believed to have been arrested or detained in the capital. And those detained were suspected of allegedly supporting or collaborating with either the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the Tigray Defense Forces, or the Oromo Liberation Army. And this wave of arrests is appearing to target any ethnic Oromos and Tigrayans based upon ethnic identity who are living in the capital. Next up, we will talk about a press release addressing that issue from the Human Rights League of the Horn of Africa. So the Human Rights League of the Horn of Africa has expressed concern about the situation with these mass arbitrary arrests following the government's declaration of a state of emergency earlier this month. And here is a quote from that statement that was released recently. It reads, "This nationwide state of emergency would undoubtedly exacerbate the hitherto worst human rights situation in the country. It gives excessive power to the law enforcement bodies, posing a chilling impact upon the fundamental rights and freedoms of the citizens." And additionally, among the reports that were received by HRLHA were several arrests that were carried out in areas surrounding Finfinay. One instance in particular occurred after a pro-government protest on November 5th, then turned into an anti-government protest after that protest was overrun by counter-demonstrators who began to shout slogans such as "Down, Down Abiy" and "Free Jawar," referencing Jawar Mohammed, and reportedly hundreds of youth who were involved in that counter-demonstration were arrested by pro-government forces. And additionally, we're going to share another instance, a notable instance of two Oromos who were detained in the capital. So this report from the HRLHA also details how on November 10th, two Oromos, the deputy director and the accountant of the Adoye Oromo Women Organization, were arrested and their whereabouts are unknown. So here we have, we're showing an image of one of those women, and then we will show the other one. The two women in question are Bilsuma Mangasha. There's Bilsuma. Again, these are two women, the deputy director and accountant of the Adoye Oromo Women Organization, who were arrested by the government, and their whereabouts are still unknown. Also, according to the UN, 10 local staff members and 34 drivers subcontracted by the UN have also been detained by government forces. And OHCHR spokesperson of the UN, Liz Throssell, said that, quote, many of those detained have not been informed of the reasons for their detention, nor have they been brought before a court of law or other tribunal to review the reasons for their detention, and have not been formally charged. And she also added that the OHCHR has received reports of inhumane conditions for those who have been detained. In updates on the progress of the OLA, according to a new update that was tweeted out by OLA spokesman Oda Tarbi, much of North Shawa and West Shawa have been liberated by OLA forces. In addition, Gidami, Begi, and Kondala have also been liberated by OLA forces, and local Oromo forces, accompanied by the TDF, are continuing to march south towards Shawa Robit. And in other updates, on November 13th, OLA commando units reported that several government soldiers had been killed and weapons were captured in the town of Sabata, which is very close to the capital of Finfine. And the army also reported combat in the Liban district between Mugayo and Dhaka Kala that resulted in 24 government combatants killed as well as 9 injured, and several government vehicles were also destroyed in the fighting. In other news, in the Liban district, the OLA has reported that tensions between Somalis and Oromos were peacefully resolved through a joint mediation session between OLA officers and local elders. The OLA has accused government officials of holding private meetings with Somali leaders in the area in an attempt to essentially frame the OLA and Oromos for stealing Somali resources, and in an attempt apparently to incite violence between those two groups. So we will show a clip of what that mediation looks like. So once again, that is a clip showing a mediation between Somali and Oromo leaders after some territorial disputes in which they were resolved. And again, the Oromo officials are accusing pro-government forces of essentially framing Oromos and trying to incite violence against them from Somali people living in the area. So those are all of our reports for today. Thank you again for watching FNN News, Finfine News Network, and I'm your host, Sibel.